Yahawah, Allahayanawa, Yahawah, Achad, Shema, Yashala, Yahawah, Allahayanawa, Yahawah, Achad, Shema, Yashala, Yahawah, Allahayanawa, Yahawah, Achad. All right, Shalom, Makim. I'm Zahar, Spirit Wind Judah of the GMS Mississippi Camp, giving all honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahawah, by Hashem Yahawashi, by Hashem Rakha Kodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. All right, peace and blessings, as well as health and wellness to the house of David the elect. All right. Hope you brothers and sisters are well. Shalom to you. All right. And what I want to go into today is a lesson entitled the Jethro process of Yahawah's saints. Something to that effect. All right, if anybody's familiar with the account of Moses, which of course everybody on this chat, on this comment board is familiar with the process with Moses. All right. And Elder Apostle Hart broke it down that the Most High set up Moses to get that Cushite woman basically to be molded into a king by Jethro, his father-in-law. So the Most High created a whole wedding, a whole marriage, all right, really, so Jethro can mold King Masha, King Moses, into a king. Because if you go into the account of Exodus, you know, when basically Moses was made king over Israel, all right, he was making an effort to handle all the affairs of Israel as a ruler. And Jethro basically said in so many words, you're going to run yourself crazy making an effort to govern all these people. Set up your government under you. Different offices, you know, captains over 100, captains over 50, things of that nature to govern the nation of Israel. All right? So like Elder Apostle Hart broke it down through the Spirit. All right? The Most High married, he set up Moses to marry that Cushite woman, the Ethiopian woman, all right, to basically be schooled by Jethro for his position as being king over Israel. All right. So I thought about that pertaining to a conversation that I had with brothers. All right, how the Most High put you in certain situations to mold you in a certain avenue of your life to make you basically perfect, man. All right, to mold you. And let me know if it's too windy. I could go back to my car. My battery's kind of low. I might have to go back to my car anyway. All right. But the Most High sets up scenarios, all right, to add something to your character, to develop something within your character, man. All right. Because, hey, Scripture says what? A man's going is of Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi. All right. So the Most High can plant you. Some brothers had to go from one state. Okay, Some brothers had to go from one city to the next city, had to change jobs. All right, some brothers, you found yourself living with somebody else, living with a relative. All right, sisters the same. But I'm pretty sure that it was something that you learned from the process of living with these people, because people don't have to be in the truth for you to learn something from them. All right, the way the Most High set up relatives and friends and things of that nature, it's something that they have an expertise in, or something that they're good in, that's set up to put that same skill set in you. And it's going to help you in the next phase of your life. It's going to help you in the perfection of your life, man. Maybe not spiritually, but physically in this mundane world. Because men of Yahawah's Yahawashi, a lot of us woke up relatively young. We were relatively young, inexperienced men. I can't speak for every man. A lot of us was relatively young, you know. You may or may not have had your dad, okay? So the Most High, but you were heir. You were heir to Yahawashi, and it tells you that an heir is, as long as he's young, he's put under tutors. So just like a king have his son, a king will have his son, he'll place his son under different tutors. So this particular tutor is expert in warfare. So he'll mold your son into the art of warfare. This particular tutor is good with language, and he's teaching your son different languages over the process of time. But it's different men instilling different things in the same person. Same thing with you and your path. All right. The Most High might have you staying with this relative, all right? This particular relative, because that particular relative is good at certain things. That particular relative might be good with money management, all right? That particular relative might know how to handle certain things. All right, now that quality is being instilled in you if you are observant. Now that's not for you to try to make that relative to be a man of the Lord, or well, he wicked, he, you know, I ain't gonna listen to nothing he say because he's not in the truth, he a nigga. He might be, but he might have something, he or she might have something that you can learn from, that you can bring into the real world. All right, that'll make your life easier, you know what I mean? So the Most High, all right, he puts you in different circumstances, a lot of times temporarily, all right, to instill something in you, man. Sometimes the number one question you have to ask is why? What is the purpose of me being here? All right. Sometimes I look at my life before I came into this truth, and it's like, why did I go from being born in this city but growing up in this city? What was it about this city that it was set up for me to grow up in? All right. Do you thinking about as you got older and you linked up with this particular brother, and next thing you know, you in the truth? All right. And it's like, damn, all those things played out in my life prior to me meeting up with this brother, all right, to set me up to wake up in the truth in this particular city. Because he had different prophets wake up in different cities. And I was one of the men, I am a man of Yahawah'S, but I was one of those men that was set up, but I wasn't born in the city I teach in. So I was like, dang, the Most High set up my whole family's life, my mom's life and everything, all right, and had put the spirit on her to move around to where I woke up in the city. I mean, to I ended up in a city that years later I was going to eventually wake up to who I was. He put the spirit on me to go to a particular school where I met another brother who's a man of the Lord. And we were cool when we were young. But the most I just moved, my mom didn't move to this city. Yeah, my son, he going to eventually, you know, teach that he an Israelite. Hell no. All right. In her mind, she had another agenda as far as, you know, being stable. But the Most High set all those things up, man. The different schools I've gone to, the different neighborhoods I went to, all those things are set up for me to wake up. All right. Same thing with you brothers. All right. All these things are set up ultimately for not only for you to wake up, but ultimately, all right, to sharpen you, man. Because the Most High is not waking up shallow men. Or you might start out shallow or a lack of certain knowledge, but he sets you up to be molded, man. I know for a fact that some of the elders will speak on how some of those elders, they lived with Elder Apostle Tohar, all right? And they learned certain things, all right, by living with Elder Apostle Tohar or other elders, man, all right? You living with an elder in your camp, you living with a brother in your camp, all right, it's certain things that you can learn. He might have a certain cleaning regimen or a certain regimen to keep his house up or his apartment up. And when it's time for you to get on your own, you will apply that same regimen. All right? Now, you can do this in the flesh or in the spirit. A brother, you know, you live with a brother. You see that brother got a certain work ethic in the spirit. Well, you might, if you wise, you'll pick up on this work ethic, man, in the spirit, man. All right? Brother might have a certain regimen, how he moves. And you might see that it's beneficial to you, man. All right? The Most High is a kingmaker, man. All right? Even certain women that you've gone through, man, or certain women that you've had, all right? The Most High might not have set it up for you to have that woman into the kingdom. But he set that woman up to temporarily balance you out. Hey, he set that woman up so you can understand because you might have a woman that's completely all out wicked, but that was your education. That was your education. Now then the Most High might give you a woman that has a better spirit to deal with. And for one, you will appreciate her better. All right. And that'll make you a better judge of character. All right. And I noticed that if you don't go through certain evil things, if you don't go through the negative, you don't appreciate the positive. You know? That's like someone wants to give you a car, right? All right. But you might be like, damn, that ain't the car I wanted. All right. Your parents might give you a car at 16. You're like, damn, that ain't the car I wanted. This type of car though. But let you be a grown man with no car in the city. You making an effort to get to work. You gotta ask for rides and get Ubers and catch a broke down bus. and then let somebody offer you a car. You're gonna appreciate the hell out of that car, man. As long as that car goes, you see. So sometimes the Most High give you those evils, all right, so you can appreciate the positive, appreciate the good, man. All right, then you put in these situations that at first it seemed like it's a challenge. It seemed like it's just a horrible situation, but really you have to figure out how to navigate in it, man. It might only be a challenge because you're not used to that particular space, being in that particular space. But the Most I push you there so you can navigate in it, man. All right. Hey, the scripture says, "Remember this and show yourselves men." Men are competent. You know, men have a know-how mentality, but you learn through trial and error. So in this truth, the Most High is gonna put you in hellified situations, and He's gonna put you in positive situations. And even if you made mistakes to put yourself in that situation, a man's going is still of the Most High, man. All right. Brother got a scripture, Sirach 37:27, very powerful scripture. All right, my son, prove thy soul and thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure and everything. It's a lot. And I also got mind fog. I mentioned the wrong brother's name in one of my prior videos. I said it's from the brother GMS South By, but it's actually from the brother GMS Miami. All right, just a little disclaimer there. But the point is, man, every situation you're in, it's a learning experience. It's something called evolving. All right, something called evolving, and you can't evolve through reading all the time. You can't evolve through information. You evolve through your experiences. It tells you that a man that travel have much experience. Now you have actual traveling in which you gain experience, but also when you live on this earth, that's a form of traveling. Your experiences is like it's traveling, and you're evolving through your experiences, man. All right. So every situation you in, now let's say you're at a low point. Let's say shit hit the fan. You might used to live with your woman. Y'all used to live together, then that went to shit, for lack of better words, and have to move in with a brother. All right, but you and that brother might move differently. Well, that brother might have a way about him that you can actually learn from. One thing we have to do, one trait that we have to have is the trait of being adaptable, know how to adapt. They ask you on a job questionnaire, are you someone that can adapt to changes? Because in those jobs, they're always changing things around, and you have to be willing to make those adjustments. All right? So, hey, the Most High is a kingmaker, but really every situation you're in is like a tutor. And it's tutoring you to have a strong point in this particular arena. So just always have that mentality, no matter what situation you're in, ask yourself, and I speak to myself as well, but ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Or even certain jobs you've worked. Some brothers are better cooks at home, all right, because they've worked certain jobs where they were actually cooks. All right. Certain brothers have gotten certain jobs, and whatever they've learned on those jobs, all right, they might have ended up that particular job might have gave them the skill to create a side hustle. All right, you might have been a custodian, a janitor, all right, but then you learn how to mix chemicals yourself. You might decide to get your own LLC, man, and start your own custodial business for within different enterprises, man. All right. Some brothers have they was working, you might have started off flipping burgers at a fast food joint, all right, or you might have been working in a catering service for someone, but that might have gave you the know-how, all right, to start your own catering service, man. All right. But it might have all started at a damn tip agency. It might have all started going on Indeed.com just looking for a gig. But it took you in a whole different direction, man. You might used to cut grass with your uncle, but now you had to know how to cut grass. I live in the South. All right. All right. Let me see. Brothers got more scriptures. This is from GMS Kabar, 2 Corinthians 1:6. And whether we be afflicted, it is for your consolation and salvation, which is effectual in the enduring of the same sufferings which we also suffer, or whether we be comforted, it is for your consolation and salvation. All right. GMS dyed garments from Basra 144 by 2 Corinthians 12 and 19. Again, think ye that we excuse ourselves unto you? We speak before Yahweh and Hamashiach, but we do all things, dearly beloved, for your edifying. All right, one thing I've noticed, like I said, the Most High, we're not going to leave out this captivity shallow men. All right, the Most High is refining us in every aspect of our lives. All right, he's refining us through our experiences. He's refining us through our so-called relationships with women. He's refining us through our jobs. All right, and the scripture tells you to study the way of the ant, man. All right, King Solomon observed ants, and an ant can build a colony, man. Ants know how to work together. Ants have unity. All right, that's power. So if King Solomon was that perceptive and keen to where he will study an ant, how much more, as we've been in the house of David, how much more should we study our environments and add that to ourselves so we can expand as men of Yahawah's Shai? All right, and not just men who are reading with no experience, but we actually have a know-how from our experiences, man. All right, you shouldn't make the same mistakes, you know, with same mistakes and with your experiences. You should be able to reflect on your experiences and use your experience as a tool to develop as a person. Turn your experience into a skill. All right, and that's pretty much the point. You know, I'm not gonna keep it too long. You know, at the water for you brothers who are tuning in, how to give a testimony. I was gonna do some ride share, right? I was gonna pick up a passenger, all right, and the passenger actually stayed out this way, right? But then they canceled. So basically, it's like the Lord led me to go in this direction. This is where I always do videos. So like and then I just kept the app on, and I got no pickup. So I was like, this through the Spirit, it was set up for me to do this lesson. You know, this is a shadow of thy wings, Proverbs 6 and 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which have no guide, overseer, or ruler. All right. Provided her meat in the summer and gathered her food in the harvest. All right. Ecclesiastes 7 and 14. In the day of prosperity, be joyful, but in the day of adversity, consider. Woo! Yahweh also have set the one over against the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. All right. But like I said, just to recap, man. All right. Whatever situation you in, or even if it's a form of adversity, all right, consider, all right? You could consider your actions was led to that, or you could consider, how can I benefit from being in this situation, all right? Don't you know that the most ingenuity from Israel comes from the penitentiary? You know, you might have Jake to have access to phones watching these videos, but Jake, because a necessity is the mother of invention. We had the most ingenuity when we didn't have shit as a people coming out of slavery. All right, you'll be surprised how sharp you are when you have to actually use your brain. See, this society doesn't allow you to use your mind. Your mind is the most powerful organ in your body. It's your mind. It's your brain. Incorruptible crown, Psalm 37:23. The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh, and he delighted in his way. Verse 24. Though he fall, he should not be utterly cast down, for Yahweh upholding him with his hand. And another thing, adversity keeps you humble. Adversity keeps you humble because you know, you might be doing all these things in the spirit that make you harder in the spirit, make you go harder. You might have a regimen about yourself. Well, the Most High might balance it out by giving you hell in the flesh. Fill in the blanks, whatever it may be. But it's a messenger of Satan to keep you humble. Because in a lot of cases, I speak as a man, but you can fall out quicker being on point in the spirit than falling out not being on point. I mean, it's either or, you know. It's all about a balance. Don't get me wrong, you're supposed to be on point, but best believe Abba will balance you out through adversity. All right? But a lot of times you put in situations to really develop, like our forefather King David was, the Most High matched him with his woman, those other the family of Cush, to ultimately be tutored by Jethro to run his nation. All right. So everything you go through is really it's a skill to develop you, man. All right? But that's what really makes you who you are. And we're all about developing, and we're all about growing, and we're all about learning. All right? Wisdom is moving waters. It's not still waters. It's living waters. Still waters is what attract all the gnats and the mosquitoes and all those things. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahawah'S Most High, by some Kaku Dasta, of honor to our elder apostles, elder bishops, a great millstone, who rule well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness, and house of David the elect. Baba Baba, come here, Shalom.